he's not in a routine, and that's my own fault. It's day one of the process. I'm feeling very emotional about it. I looked up at Mick and I smiled and I said to him, "Can you take a mental picture for me?" And Mick was so sweet because he actually went and got the camera. It's crazy to comprehend the fact that this is another chapter closing in my life. In a week and a half's time, I go back to work and I don't want to be breastfeeding. And you'd think the fourth time round I would know what I'm doing, but I'm at a loss. So I'm going to call up the Australian Breastfeeding Association, ABA, and I'm going to talk with one of their qualified lactation consultants to come up with a game plan, because I've realized that I've been demand feeding and like nursing Eddie when he wakes up and then before he goes to bed, and we're not really in a routine. I've just been feeding him. I am feeling I don't know where to go from here. I'm feeling very overwhelmed with the process of it all. I have very mixed feelings because Edmund is my last child, and I know that once it's done, it's done. I'm never going to be doing it again, which in the same breath is actually very exciting for me. In 7 days time, he is 10 months old, and that was my goal for exclusively breastfeeding. I have enough breast milk in the freezer that I can be giving him because he starts at daycare in 2 days time. He'll have 3 days at daycare where I don't want to be introducing formula just yet. I'd rather give him breast milk. But I'm just feeling so overwhelmed. I don't know where to start. And you'd think by my fourth kid, I would have this all under control, but I don't. So I'm going to ask the experts for help and see what comes of it.
Thank you for calling the Australian Breastfeeding Association's National Breastfeeding Helpline. To assist us to direct your call, please enter your 4-digit postcode. Your call has been placed in a queue for the next available breastfeeding counsellor. Please hold. How can I help you?
I'm needing to wean my baby, and I'm just needing some guidance on the process of how to do that.
Sure. How old is your baby?
He's going to be 10 months old next Tuesday.
Okay, and are you returning to work? Or
Yeah.
what's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah. You've got, just a couple of weeks, really, and that's okay. So your body's pretty primed for what you've been doing, and it does take a long time for the milk to completely disappear from your system. So you could, stop feeding him entirely and you'll still have milk.
Mm-hmm.
You still have milk, and then your brain will also still have that system where it knows when it's stimulated to make milk. And so it's just so that you know that milk can stay around for up to 6 months.
Wow.
In the breast, and sometimes if you can even have an accidental letdown or something for some reason, that milk, it will be there. So just so you know that your milk won't disappear overnight.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Okay.
But it's great if you can do it gradually, mainly for your breast. Like, your baby will actually be fine.
Yeah.
We do recommend that the first 12 months use milk first, food second.
Yeah.
And then after that clock over the 12 months, we say, well, food first and then milk second.
Yeah.
It's like a great plan.
Okay.
Yeah. No, baby number 4. Wow. I think that we've probably just established that the plan that you had was great.
Okay.
To just have some reassurance that making sure that you're adding the formula when you're taking away the breast milk, doing it every couple of days, and just keeping an eye on your baby, which one feels right for your time. Sometimes picking time frames is helpful. But I found that helpful. Certainly when I was night weaning, I was able to just say, right, I'm not going to feed you between this time and this time.
Yeah.
Was easier for me. But of course, my baby was over 12 months old.
Yeah.
So it's a bit different to be able to just say, I'm not going to feed you.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your help. Have a good day.
You call back if you need to.
Will do.
Good luck.
Thank you. Bye.
No worries. Bye-bye.
I don't feel any better than when I did when I called. I think the one thing I took from that is the fact that I need to pick a time frame to not feed him. And that if he is searching for something that, or for something else like water or food. But until he's in that routine, it's just hard because he's not in a routine. And that's my own fault. Like, going back to work is hard enough. And trying to prepare, like, the kids to go back to school, and Zoe's starting school for the first time, and then to have to think about the whole fact of, like, weaning, because pumping is just not a viable option for work. I need to create a game plan. Did you drink it all? You look happy. Today marks my first day of the weaning process. I am 10 days out from work, and before I go back to work, I want to have dropped at least my 11 a.m. feed and my 3 p.m. feed. And then we will see what happens. So Michael has just given Edmund his first bottle very successfully, which is great. And today is the first day that I'm not going to be pumping. The thing that's really hard is when you get a letdown and you're not pumping, it's a reminder of the fact that you used to feed. So that part I am struggling with mentally, but I know that when I go back to work, it's just not feasible for me, and I know that weaning him is the best thing. Thankfully, I was discussing with my best friend about the fact that I was weaning Edmund, and she passed on some advice that a lactation consultant gave to her, and that is if you are engorged and feeling discomfort, to just pump 10 minutes flat and then drop a minute per day. So even on that, if I'm 10 days out and I pump 10, 9, 8 all the way through, I will be successfully rid of my feeds before I go back to work. But this is day one of the process. I'm feeling very emotional about it, but I know it's the right thing to do. We are currently on day 6 of dropping feeds gradually. I have been dropping a feed every 3 days. So currently I do not feed at 11 a.m. nor 3 p.m. Today I found it rather difficult because Eddie actually woke up at 6, and that's when I fed him, and I didn't feed him again. At 3 o'clock I was actually quite sore because I would be able to usually go from like 7 a.m. to about 5 p.m. and have to give him the 5 p.m. feed. I am feeling a little bit nervous because our goal as a family is to have Edmund here in the nursery, I guess, with Finn by Saturday night, so like 2 nights time. And I'm still nursing the 7 a.m., the 5 p.m., the 7 p.m., and then whatever he needs throughout the night. So I have a feeling though, once he comes in here, that he will nurse less, and I'm kind of banking on that. I start work in like 4 days time, which is crazy. It's been a really emotional journey. I have cried many tears, especially last night. I went to nurse him before bed and he was just crying. He didn't actually want me. And the tricky thing about that is obviously we could just give him a bottle, but it's hard because I used to be his everything, and now that we've started the weaning process, he is getting confused between bottle and breast, and he doesn't know which one's his preference, and obviously it's gonna have to be bottle because that's what we're going with. And it's tricky because once I wean, I know he's just gonna grow up drastically, where these last 10 months he has been my little baby, and I've enjoyed the closeness, I've enjoyed the snuggles. I know that the sensory aspect of breastfeeding is not my favorite, and I really have to persevere to push through, and 10 months is a major milestone for me, and I'm so proud and happy and just relieved that I was able to get there, because there were many a time where I did just want to give up on it all. I don't know how the next couple of days are gonna go, because I need to drop quite a lot of feeds quite drastically. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll just keep the 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. and he can have bottle in between. For the first time in about 2 years, we have our room back, and it is such a bittersweet feeling. I remember doing all of my pregnancy tests here before finding out we were pregnant. I remember documenting my last day of ever being pregnant in the same frame, and it's crazy to think of all of the major milestones that I've captured here. But I've just given Eddie a bottle. I can't believe that it's only been a week since I started this weaning process, and a week ago today I was crying because I didn't know what to do even after calling up ABA, and yet today we are cot free. I did no night feeds. We are down to 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. and I am confidently giving him a bottle of formula. I'm not having any regrets at all. He's definitely at that stage where feeding him, he's easily distracted. He bites a lot, and it was becoming quite stressful to nurse him, and I go back to work tomorrow. Literally, I go back to work tomorrow. So I feel like currently I've got a good feeding schedule of just the 2 and 24 hours, and it's nice because I'm actually getting some sleep for the first time ever. Last night Edmund only woke up once, and it was at 1:30, and Michael got to feed him, and it's so nice to share the load. This morning I did my final ever breastfeed, and I feel so good about it. We went to the beach and Eddie was hungry, so I said to Michael, this is it, this is the last one. And I sat there in the ocean with Eddie, and I was just very mindful and present about the moment. I wanted to take in how he looked, how I held him, and just the closeness that it was. And it was such a special moment. I am not sad or upset about it, but I just wanted to make sure that my last time of nursing was one that I remembered. And I looked up at Mick and I smiled, and I said to him, can you take a mental picture for me? And Mick was so sweet because he actually went and got the camera and took a real picture, and that picture is just so special for me. So I am done with nursing, and I feel happy, I feel elated and just free. Nursing for me has never been an easy experience. I get overwhelmed with touch, and sleep deprivation just doesn't help me to regulate my emotions. And it's so crazy because Michael made mention that I have nursed our 4 kids for a duration of 3 years, which I am so genuinely proud of, because with each breastfeeding journey I learned more about my body and my milk supply, and I feel like I definitely got better. And the only reason why I stopped nursing Eddie at 10 and a bit months is because I went back to work. So this week I completed my first full-time bit of work, and I am so thankful that I have weaned him, because now Michael is giving him a bottle at 3 in the morning-ish, and I get a full night's sleep, which I haven't gotten in years. It's crazy to comprehend the fact that this is another chapter closing in my life, that I am slowly progressing through life. My kids are getting older, and I'm not in this constant loop of like being pregnant, birthing, nursing, and then starting it all over again. Like, now is the time where we're starting to exit the woods and to be able to go towards that sunrise and see the view and not be stuck in the forest. I am thankful for everything that has happened in my nursing journey. It has been one that has had many highs and many lows, and I feel like dropping a feed every 3 days really was beneficial. There were a couple of times where I did feel engorged and I did feel sore, but slow and steady, I listened to my body, and now we're at the point where I am back to wearing normal clothes. I've gotten a normal bra. Like, I haven't had this in my life for 7 years, so I'm really excited for this next chapter. So if you've watched this video because you're feeling a little bit lost on where to start in your weaning process, I hope this has helped you. Definitely get in contact with professionals because they know what they are doing. But if you have enjoyed today's video, please give it a big thumbs up because it really does support my channel. Don't forget to hit subscribe and tap that bell so you get notified when we upload it every Monday, because this parenting gig, it doesn't come with a rule book, we only have each other. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.